All right, so Samsung just hit us with the Fold 7, and Mr. over here has used two Folds, the Fold 4 and the 5.
And I'm using the S25 Ultra now, and I used the S24 Ultra before that. I am so torn. I so want to get the Fold 7.
Namaste, we're DHRME, dos hombres revisando muchos equipos.
Wow.
Yeah.
You speak a lot of languages, and I use a lot of phones. Yes, so a little bit of story time before we compare the S25 Ultra with the Fold 7, which we don't have. Of course, we did get hands-on time at the Samsung event.
Yeah.
And we'll go through all the impressions and the changes. But I got bored of the Fold series after the Fold 5 because Fold 5, like we said in a short, is like the Fold 4. The Fold 6 was like the Fold 5. And we saw all these other companies in the market really leapfrogging Samsung on the Fold generations.
Yeah, I mean, you got the OnePlus Open, right? The Pixel Fold, all of those guys, like way more impressive in the hardware department, it felt like.
Yeah.
And so Fold 7.
Fold 7.
Might be the one.
It might be the one. And, you know, in the Samsung event, there were a couple of products that jumped out to us, not all of them. And the Fold 7 was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I asked you, like, which product, and we simultaneously said Fold 7.
Yeah. And we didn't have that feeling with the Fold 6.
No, Fold 6 was like, yeah, sure, it's a bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, even Samsung didn't feel like they were fully
They had a hard
into
time selling it, I think.
Yeah. So what is the Fold 7? Let's walk through it a little bit.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it in the context of the S25 Ultra, which I've daily driven now. So that gives...
Yeah, and the reason for that is simple, right? Samsung has been very much calling this the Ultra version of the Fold, right? So let's see how Ultra this really is.
A couple of things are pretty Ultra, like the performance, for example.
Yeah.
It's the Snapdragon Elite 8 for Galaxy, exact same chipset as the Ultra. That's
where it starts. Yeah. Okay, in terms of build, the dimensions, it's 8.9 millimeters thick compared to 8.2 on the Ultra. So being a foldable device while folded.
Wow.
Still...
It's almost the Ultra size. I mean, you can see it in the shots here. And when you unfold it, it's even slimmer.
Correct.
4.2 millimeters. And when you unfolded that, I didn't see much of a crease. But again, we had limited hands-on time with it. So
and it's a new device. Yeah. People do say with use, the crease gets more emphasized and more pronounced.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, these are all numbers, right, on screen that you'll probably see. But when we really felt it, when we really held it in our hands, it was obvious that this thing was thin.
And Samsung even says that it's lighter than the Ultra. So the Ultra is heavier than the Fold, which is crazy to
by
me.
3 grams, mind you.
Yeah.
But similar weight. It's crazy. Yeah. Because you got 2 displays in that thing. The material, there is the frame around it, which is titanium on both.
Yeah.
The one on the Fold 7, though, is grade 4, which is, this one's grade 5.
And that's a bit Ultra, right? Because I think the Fold 6 had an aluminum frame.
That's right,
So I think that's another thing that they've really stepped up. A lower grade titanium, but titanium, I like titanium. It feels good in the hand, it's light.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the build. Felt good in the hand.
So you got the cover display, obviously, on the front. And when you unfold it, you got the inner display. But that cover display is now wider.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that was a big complaint, not only from this guy here, but also from many people out there, is that it's a very slim and thin display.
You can't do enough on it. That was kind of the complaint. And when Pixel went to like that whole phone in the front and square when you open up, people were like, oh, I really like this because I can use it unfolded for long.
They were barely using the inner display because of that.
That's another issue. 5 millimeters more. Sometimes that's all it takes to satisfy you.
Okay, let's go a bit deeper.
Yeah.
So the inner display is 11% bigger than the Fold 6, they said. So that's gotten a little bit bigger as well. The aspect ratio, just coming back to the cover display, is 21:9 ratio.
Way better.
Way better. So yeah, that's a bit about the display. Apart from that, what did strike me, and I was disappointed in when they did kind of throw in the whole Ultra terminology with the Fold, was that the display didn't have any kind of anti-reflective coating.
Yeah.
Which we love on the Ultra series.
That makes this Ultra for me.
Yeah.
Like really in daily use, a little bit more performance is fine, but that I can just use this anywhere. I mean, look at the difference here. It's crazy.
Battery.
Yeah, so battery, there's good news and bad news.
Yeah.
The good news is they've really slimmed down this device and the battery is still the same, 4,400 milliamp hours, but it's not, ultra level and it's not using silicon carbon. Samsung's playing it safe. We know their whole company probably rests on another phone catching
Yeah.
fire. So we understand that. But yeah, but that's how ultra is that experience going to be?
Yeah.
A battery that's smaller than this and it has basically 3 screens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which needs to be seen.
2?
3, yeah. 2 inside, 1 out.
Okay.
Indian man.
That's a yeah. Cameras.
Cameras.
That was a big differentiator for people who were buying the Fold, which was novelty, which was this, phone, tablet kind of experience in one. But then you sacrificed a bunch of things. And in the past, that was things like battery life. That was things like the camera. But
Yeah, I'm really happy to see. And, when you start calling this kind of like a device ultra, I think camera is one of the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
And they are using the same sensor, the 200 megapixels sensor from the Ultra versus 50 on the Fold 6, which was, it was noticeably worse in daily use. Like when I switched from the Ultra to the Fold, it was fun. It was an upgrade in like many ways, but it was a downgrade in the camera, which is why I went back to the 24 Ultra and now the 25 Ultra. But the main camera has been upgraded. That's not the whole story, though.
no, because the other lenses,
Same as the Fold 6.
same. Nothing changed. Still 10 megapixel telephoto, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel cover screen selfie camera.
And the under display camera has changed.
Yeah.
It's no longer that thing that kind of blends into the display but makes you look like a potato. It's a 10 megapixel sensor and it's just like a pinhole camera.
Correct.
It's fine. You
see
won't
it.
get that fully immersive thing, but I'd rather have a decent camera there.
For sure. Yeah. Anything else? AI.
Yes.
Yeah. Moving on. There's been the same stuff that's been advertised, right? Nothing new here. Photo assist to remove objects. It's the same thing that we've seen on Pixel
They've
devices.
optimized it for a larger screen.
That's
Gemini
what it
light
is.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Audio eraser, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And one funny thing, though, that I saw for gamers out there is some may call this cheating, but hey, you got to do what you got to do to complete the level. But there's circle to search in gameplay.
Yeah.
So if you're stuck somewhere, circle to search, and hopefully Gemini,
Takes you
Google,
straight to the YouTube video. Which
that shows you how to complete it.
walkthrough.
Yeah, the one. Kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so I must say Samsung's AI is very underappreciated. The things like the object eraser, the generative fill and stuff that they have in image editing is very nice.
Yeah.
But it's not anything different from what we've seen so far. So you don't need to get a Fold 7 for that. 7 years of security and 7 years of OS updates, definitely cool.
Yeah, that's good. For sure. It's IP48 rated. So it's rated.
Good for liquids.
Yeah. Not so
Okay
great
for dust.
Yeah.
But very good for liquids.
Which is, it's going to be tough for a foldable. But
at least you have a
you have-
foldable with an IP rating.
you do. Yeah. In terms of colors, you can get the Fold 7 in blue, black, silver, and a mint color.
You didn't say blue shadow, jet
No, I
black,
didn't. I'm not gonna-
silver
no,
shadow,
don't.
mint.
God.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Mint is online inclusive.
So that's kind of the overview of this, and let's talk about like my first impressions of if I should buy this or not.
Mhm.
It comes down to 4 things,
Yeah.
and the number one thing out of that is pricing.
Okay.
That shit expensive.
Yeah.
It's like
When it came up on screen, we were like, holy crap. Yeah.
2,500 euros.
You can get a highly spec'd MacBook Pro. Yeah.
You can get a cheap car, I think.
Yeah, you can get, for sure, you can get a car. Yeah, you're right.
That is some crazy money, man.
Yeah.
So that's like the number one thing. Okay, now that's the highest spec one, 1 TB, 16 gigs
Yeah.
of RAM,
And what was funny was that the Fold shocked us as much. The Flip, which we're not talking about now, but those didn't shock us as much. And there was a question, why?
Yeah.
And it came down to the chipset used, Snapdragon.
Yeah. They said Snapdragon is more expensive, the chipset.
Yeah,
Which is weird. I thought they get cheaper as time goes on, but
exactly.
that's what they said. And even the cheapest model is in the Netherlands here, 2,099 euros. That's the cheapest Fold you can buy. So that's the first thing that gives me pause.
Yeah.
I can get the Ultra for half the price right now. I'm pretty sure if
Yeah.
I look around, look for deals and stuff like that.
And apart from the folding and the inner display, you're getting objectively a better phone on the Ultra.
Yeah. Better in some other ways as well.
Yeah.
Which is point number 2, S Pen.
Yep.
There's a built-in S Pen.
Yep. You're not getting that on the Fold 7. You're not getting it separately, even on a case or whatever.
There's no support.
There's no support.
No S Pen.
No.
Minor, you might say. Major, one thing we talked about is a beautiful anti-reflective screen. Again, take a look at this. That in day-to-day use is the biggest thing I care about rather than some smaller.
Pretty underrated, but yeah.
Yeah.
Battery size, we talked about that as well. You're getting 5,000 milliampere hour on this, whereas you're getting 4,400 on the Fold 7 only.
Yeah, so those are the 4 reasons that really give me pause.
Yeah.
Not only the S25 Ultra, but even if you have a Fold 6 or a Fold 5, sure, you're getting a much better form factor, but you're paying a lot of money.
You're paying a lot of money, yes.
But Samsung does do deals. So,
yeah,
you get some. I have a friend who, for some reason, gets some very weird deals. He's been a Samsung member for long. So, at least in Netherlands, that's possible. I'm sure in the US, it's possible.
Yeah.
So
resourceful friend.
Yeah. So that price may not be the price you finally end up paying. So in that case, yes, the Fold 7 is definitely, I would pick it up, but yeah.
So you gave 4 reasons, or we gave 4 reasons why you're not gonna upgrade.
Yeah. If there's a first Fold you're considering, I think it's a nice one.
Yeah.
Of course, there's competition out there, but if you're into Samsung,
I think just the build I love. I love the fact that it's better camera set, or at least the main camera is better. That's it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But that Fold is all about the build, right? It's all about the form factor.
Yeah.
So, you get all the other Samsung goodies with it. But that's it. We got an exclusive preview to this from Samsung Netherlands, but there's no sponsorship or anything else involved. If you would like to see a full review, do leave a comment down below because we may or may not do it depending on how much feedback you guys give us. But thanks to all our beautiful tested tier supporters and patrons.
And a special thanks to our highest tier, which is the Fuckman tier. Thank you, Rachel, Paula, Rads Panda, and Jay.
You've been 7-time lucky.
And we've been DHRME. Do we?
Yeah.
You with your ASMR shit. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.